Hello and welcome to ZPR, Zanu Project Rethink. My name is Franck Zanu and I'm in the studio today with not a total stranger, Nancy Forville, who is the project manager for the town of Milford. Nancy was here about 5 months ago and it was a heated topic, and she's back in the studio with me today. Now, the topic we are going to discuss today, it's a very hard one and it's very important, especially if you consider yourself a minority in America or a naturalized citizen. This may affect you in some way, but as we always do at ZPR, we don't say anything. We don't have facts, truth, or lie. We just simply question all the answers. So welcome to the studio, Nancy. Good to see you again. Me. Yes. Now I heard you have a new puppy that has an Instagram page. What's the name? What's the name?
Zora the Cavapoo.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And people are donating money.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm getting myself a puppy.
People love her. So yeah, definitely check her out on Zora.
I see. What's the breed?
She's a Cavapoo.
I see. I don't know anything about that, but I'll say yes. All right. So you said you have this video. You sent it to me.
Yeah.
If we can listen to it one more time, especially the place where the white gentleman was talking about what he's concerned about. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So here's the video that's been trending. I first saw it on I believe D.L. Hughley had first posted it online on Instagram. And basically it's just about two gentlemen. Let me just show you right now. It's about two gentlemen sitting down. One is an Asian, one is a white man. And he's explaining to the Asian gentleman on why he voted for Trump. He said he voted for Trump because if Trump policies go through, then it would slow the disposition of whites in America. So let's see it.
I want to know how it is you voted for Donald Trump when you're so into facts, because his entire campaign is not based in facts. It was all based in propaganda and emotion.
I voted for Donald Trump for one reason only. His policies, if implemented, would slow the dispossession of whites in the United States. If you were to deport all illegal immigrants, if you were to think very hard about letting in any Muslims, all of this would slow the rate at which whites are becoming a minority.
Why are you so worried about the white dispossession of America?
Because I want my people to survive.
Oh, okay. I see where the controversy came from. So this is a young Asian, I believe Chinese, who was born in the United States.
Yes.
So she's citizen by birth, a Chinese, and then a white gentleman, mm-hmm. and they're having dinner, quite friendly, and the white gentleman is concerned about what he termed the dispossession of white America.
Right.
The Asian young man was saying, but why would you be concerned of the dispossession? And you are saying what?
Why would he be concerned? I mean, don't we all live in America? Whites, blacks, Asians. Why would you be so concerned that, power is you're not going to have it anymore just because of what? So he's happy because he's assuming that, or not assuming, he believes that the reason why he voted for Trump is so that Trump can carry out these policies that will protect white people in order for them to carry out or to continue to have power, access to certain liberties.
I think we would take away the Trump part, because
okay.
a president is not going to stop the dispossession of white America. But I think the central thing in this argument mm-hmm. they had was that the white gentleman is concerned that with the rate of birth, and many people have said this, and the influx of other ethnicities and race, that there will come a time, if it's not slowed down, there will be the dispossession of white America, right? Mm-hmm. And he went on to say, the reason I'm concerned is because then my children would have no legacy and culture left in this country. We will have no, and I don't see anything wrong at all with what he's saying. No country would allow foreigners. So they say when a tree falls into a river, it doesn't become a fish. Now, I'm a naturalized American, but I'm not going to say that I'm an American. I'm American politically, but not culturally. The Chinese dude was born in this country, and therefore he's American by birth. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't make him American culturally.
Why? Why doesn't it make him American? Doesn't he live here?
No,
Doesn't
culturally, I mean. When you talk about white people, the founding fathers of this country were of the same uniform background, WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. They have a culture, a religion, a language, a history, and they want to protect it. This is the home of their children. This is what they built for their children, and you came in as a guest. The guest will never take over a house. Never happen. Number two, I really would support the white man, okay, for the dispossession of white, as he's saying, because you see, he's trying to protect you and I. Because if this country falls into the hands, the majority of the wrong people, whatever attracts us to come here will be gone, and we will never be able to come here anymore.
So you're saying that immigrants wouldn't be able to sustain America or sustain civilization? Is that what you're saying? That we don't have the capacity to do that?
Well, I'm not saying it, I'm only describing it. Have you taken a look at Haiti recently? Would you, even as an immigrant here, want Haiti to become the majority in this country?
I mean, Haiti,
have you taken a look at some of
Haiti
the African countries, Somalia, Sudan, South Sudan, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and all these countries that are flocking to come to this country? If they could maintain where they are to look like this place, then they wouldn't be flocking here, right? So the point the gentleman is making actually is in my interest, in the interest of people from outside who should still have an America they can come to.
But you're only describing developing countries, right? You talked about Haiti, you talked about Somalia, you're talking about other developing countries.
Well, you can see an undertone what he's saying. He will be
Well, he also mentioned Middle Easterns. He also
yes, exactly.
He doesn't like he doesn't appreciate, I guess, Asians, Middle Easterns, blacks,
yes,
or anybody who's not white. So
that
you're
would
saying
dispossess his race. Yes.
So you're saying that because immigrants are coming into this country, that they wouldn't be able to maintain the white picket fence, the greenery. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, that, you and I don't have to look very far away at all. Have you taken a look at any black neighborhood in America recently, starting with Boston, starting with Detroit, starting with Baltimore, Bridgeport, Waterbury? Have you seen them?
I mean, I understand those are cities that are failing.
Exactly. Now, imagine.
So we're blaming it on the black people. We're not putting responsibility or accountability on the city or anything like that.
The city is made up of those people. A city is only with people that live in it. A place is only as good as the people who live in it. America is only as good as it is that attracted people from around the world based on who built it, established it, and maintains it. If we can build and maintain public toilets in our country, we can maintain this complex infrastructure in America. You seriously, as an immigrant, think that if this country falls in the hands of some countries that you have just mentioned, we still have an America that will attract people from West Africa, Central Africa, East Africa, Asia, and all other places?
So why is he so even concerned that there's going to be white dispossession when they already own everything, they already maintain everything? What are you afraid of? Why is he...
He's just saying, let's keep it the way it is so people can keep coming here.
No, the reason why people come here is because there's an engine to work. There's not manufacturing anymore, but there are
opportunities.
Reasons. Yeah, there's
Who
opportunities.
created those opportunities? The people he doesn't want displaced. So they created the opportunity that began to attract the world. The founding fathers of this country, who were later colonized. The United States of America was founded by white people. Yes, they stole it from Indians, fine. Whoever want to say that. They stole the land, fine. We are talking about what it became. It became what is now attractive to the entire world.
How would you describe America right now?
In what sense?
In the sense of who runs America right now?
Who runs it?
Yes.
The administration, you mean?
Not just the administration. So the way he's describing it is he's basically saying, I don't want all of these people here because I want...
No, dispossession of white, meaning that...
So it's okay to have all these people here.
But they are here already.
Yeah, they're here already.
Exactly. He's not saying that he's angry that people are here. He understands what immigration means. So he understands that the dispossession means that if these people becomes the majority, my children will have no future. They will have no culture, no language, nothing.
But we bring the culture.
No, you came into my house. My culture was there before you arrived as a guest.
But we're coming with cultures. We're coming with customs.
What people do in other countries, which is beautiful about America, is this. If you go into somebody, so we have migrants and immigrants, right? Migrants go to a place just to have better life, work, make money, and go home.
Okay.
Immigrants go to a place in order to have permanent residency.
Okay.
Now, if you choose to go to a place to have permanent residency, there are two things you need to do, okay, to keep the growth of the country, the development of the country, and whatever it was that attracted you. One, segregate yourself as the Chinese do nicely in Chinatown, so you can protect your own little culture in Chinatown.
But
or the rest, assimilate.
Okay, but immigrants come here, they work. They build businesses. They're the ones who are the doctors. They're the ones who are engineers.
He's not complaining about that. He's talking about you becoming the majority, which means things would have fallen into the hands of the majority.
So,
it's all he's concerned about.
So when they fall into the majority, things are just going to fall apart.
Well, we've seen it from where you came from. That's what drove you out to this place. I wouldn't even want somebody to come here. And I'm saying that you know that this complex infrastructure can only be managed and has been managed for 250 years.
By whites.
That's correct.
And they're the only ones who understand administration. They're the only ones who understand how to maintain.
The country is built on a culture.
So you're saying
without that culture, America wouldn't be.
So you're saying if minorities and immigrants come together and they're working in an administration, they won't be able to maintain a city? They don't have the capacity? Do you have to ask me that question? I'm just simply ask you the question because it sounds like
wait, he's not concerned about Germans coming to dispossess whites. It's not talking about
because they're already white.
That's correct. It's not. No, he's saying their country. Okay, I wouldn't worry if a bunch of Japanese are coming to my country. I know wherever they would occupy.
Why wouldn't you worry?
Because I've seen where they're coming from.
Okay.
It's attractive. Wherever they occupy, they'll make it look at where they're coming from, right? I'm not going to worry about crime. I'm not going to worry about blight. I'm not going to worry about trashing my streets. I'm not going to worry about petty stealing because I know where they're coming from.
Because they don't have the capacity to do those things.
That's correct. But I know certain people, if they're coming to my country, I'll be worried. Because of what you know about them. All you have to do, this gentleman has a window to some countries. He's seen the way they are in those countries, that you can't even handle a simple disagreement, political disagreement that doesn't turn violent and bloody, where people are killed and all that. He's seen it. Why shouldn't he worry? Nancy, let's really be fair to this man. He's not just saying bluntly that no foreigner should come to this country. He said, if you become the majority, my children will have no more culture.
So he also said if the policies that Trump administers will help white people. So how does he even have the audacity to even say it? How does he even feel like it's okay?
That's what I said from the beginning. I'll take the Trump policies out of it because no single American policy. Trump said, I'm going to clean up the country with violent, illegal immigrants. Any country would do so. Now, I'll tell you something. The United States of America, all the way from the 60s, 70s, all the way to the late 80s, was the only country among all the industrialized countries that was very friendly to illegals. America never chased illegals in the streets and sent them out. Never did. In the 60s, ask anyone who lived in Europe. Germany had it, France had it, even the UK had it, Israel had it. You can't be walking around these countries screaming, I'm an immigrant, I'm illegal, and they take you out. Israel doesn't allow it. Many countries don't allow it. Russia doesn't allow it. South Korea doesn't allow it. You can't be an illegal immigrant and be bold enough to have a placard announcing it. It is only recently that the crime has increased and the border at the southern end of this country became porous, that anything and everybody is pouring in, that caused the country to be alarmed. Something like that, just within 8 years, when the number of illegal immigrants pouring through the southern border. Have you seen the crime? Today, they are going to sign the Riley Act, which is a girl killed by an illegal criminal who came through the southern border. Why shouldn't these gentlemen be worried about something like that? You came into a country illegally, fine. But if in the last 8 years, the millions of illegals that poured into America, we begin to hear stories like, oh my God, look at the innovation out there. They did it. Look at this thing. They did it. People will be sympathetic to them. But that is not the case.
Yes, but we have immigrants who are engineers. We have immigrants.
Would you allow, as a Haitian, would you allow Chinese to come to Haiti and slowly seeing that these people wouldn't stop bleeding? They're just breeding and they're going to take over my country. There would be no Haiti. You would be worried generally. You will be worried. No country has allowed any foreigners, immigrants from anywhere to overwhelm the country. They control it.
Okay, I understand. What
Yes.
policy?
So he's talking about, I'm worried. I'm seeing what is going on.
But America is not just for the whites. It's for everybody. It's everyone who can come here and to work and to contribute to, contribute to society.
The American White Institution is what established the naturalization process.
Yes.
It means they own the country. That's why they established the naturalization process to say, you can come in and I'll help you through the process to become a citizen. Well, so it's not for everybody.
Okay.
It's for those who founded it and who have established the culture upon which the country is built. You can assimilate into that culture, or you can establish a little corner somewhere, like the Chinese are doing, the Koreans are doing, the Japanese are doing in LA.
So basically you're saying anybody who is a non-white, just come here and just assimilate and stay in your corner. Because this country is not really your country. This is a borrowed country for you. You're just here.
Borrowed citizenship, like I said, when a tree falls into a river, does it become a fish?
Yeah.
So you can't go to China and be born in China by a Haitian diplomat, and then a black kid will say, I'm Chinese. People will tend to look at you. You can't go to Japan as a black kid and then say, I'm Japanese because I was born here. Because saying I'm Chinese is not just a citizenship, it's a culture. Saying I'm Japanese, I'm Korean, that's why they don't allow citizenship.
So I was born here, so therefore I wouldn't understand the culture of white America. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. You have to say if you do or don't.
I
They will
believe I
understand you, and you will understand it in totality of it. The WASP culture, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, are the founding fathers of this country, right? So there is a culture which is not your culture, but your culture makes it beautiful. That's why they call it the melting pot. But it doesn't melt. It's just a salad. Every color will be shown. The carrot, you see it. The spinach is seen. So you must, if you want to be a good citizen in this country and really help this country, you need to inform yourself that you are I'm a naturalized citizen. I'm not going to be American. To be honest with you, I wouldn't even see America in the same vein George Bush will see it. It's different.
Right. Because they're more about advancing America,
That's
always
correct.
Protecting America.
Based on the culture on which the country was founded. The culture is important.
But I want to see America grow. I want to see America advance.
That's it.
Isn't that white culture? Isn't that also? Don't I also understand the white culture? Of course.
You don't have to understand the culture to help America grow, which means you say, I want to be a good guest, so the country can
so
continue.
I'm a guest.
It's up to you to decide. Birthright citizenship. You were born here, therefore you are an American politically, not culturally. That distinction, I want every naturalized or to understand.
So it doesn't matter that I was born here. It doesn't matter that I work, I contribute to society, I pay tax. It doesn't matter.
All that matters.
All of that matters.
Very much. Okay. What matters is for you to understand, however, I am still Haitian culturally.
So when I go home at night, what I eat, how I speak, the language that I use is all Haitian, although I live in America.
Is it?
Sometimes.
Exactly. There is no way line dance would ever replace compa.
Exactly.
Okay? There's no way steak and potato would replace, what is the best Haitian food?
Legume.
That's correct. When I came to your place the other day, that's what you served, right? There's no way English would ever replace Creole. But you can remain in America as a Haitian and make it look beautiful while you protect your little culture. You know, Wyclef Jean would never stop talking about Haitian in his songs. He lived in Brooklyn. There's a little community of Haitians in Brooklyn, right? Now they want to call it, legally now, call it Little Haiti. Okay.
So we have Little Haiti in Miami.
That's
have
correct.
it in
You told me some weekends you do go to Chinatown just to eat dumpling and see their... That's what I'm talking about. That's what makes America beautiful. That little pocket of segregation is what makes this country strong.
So you're saying it's okay to have segregation?
By choice, yeah. Don't force it. You got to know where you're going and ask yourself, will I fit in? Segregation by choice. The Chinese know that they are extremely different in terms of things they do. So they said, look, we can't just rent everything. So when I was living in Westport, I see this, the lady my manicurist, right? Snow, 10-inch, they would drive back home. And I asked her one day, why don't you just buy a place in Westport? She said, no, we can never do that. Because there is something powerful in identity. We want our kids to grow in America, but not lose who they are. So segregation promotes that. If you have a culture, if you have a monochronic culture, a homogeneous culture, then you can do that. That's why the Japanese are in Little Tokyo in California. That's why Flatbush is covered by all Koreans. In fact, the mayor was begging them to write things in English.
But doesn't segregation create fear?
As a choice. So what, are you afraid of Chinese because they are segregated in Chinatown?
No, but wouldn't it be nice for us to like live amongst each other so
But
that we can educate each other,
you do in
we
America
can understand
already.
each other?
The country is diverse already. You live in America as a diverse country. Now living in your own pocket so you can scream at midnight because we love loud music. So just choose where you fit in. That's all I mean by segregation, but it shouldn't be forced.
So you're saying it's okay to have, okay, so not segregation by policy or laws, but it's only by choice. Like if I decide that I want to live in a Haitian community in Brooklyn or Miami, it should be okay.
Yes, you park your car in front of your house and invite the mechanic to fix it, pour oil on the floor, kids have nowhere to play, hang baskets.
Why are you describing it like that?
Because
as if
it's a culture.
It's a culture.
Yes.
In Caribbean or Haitian communities
Then
that
why
it's
do you
okay
do
to
it?
have
Well,
have a car with oil
then
on the
why do
spills
you
on the
do it?
floor.
Have
We
you
do not do that.
Have you seen any, you've traveled.
I've traveled.
Have you seen any black country? The first thing that greets you across Africa, I've traveled widely across Africa. The first thing that greets you is what? Blight. Streets. We eat and we just throw it out of the car.
That's not true. I've been to so many.
Hold on. Let me
Go
explain
ahead.
to you. You cannot say that is true. That is really not being fair. One thing we describe ourselves.
But
hold
you're
on.
saying.
One thing we describe ourselves with anywhere on the continent of Africa, even here in America, black kids don't know how to hold the trash until they get to a trash bin. All across Africa, my country, Benin, everywhere, is you eat and you just drop it out of the car window. That's why plastic lines up the road everywhere. The only thing we struggle with is blight.
I've been to Caribbean
Ghana got
countries.
flooded twice. You know why? People just throw plastics on the road. We do not have effective waste management industries in any African country. We don't.
And why is that? It's just not part of our culture? Is that what you're going to say?
Yes. We don't separate ourselves from nature. The tree doesn't come down and sweep its own leaves. It just lives with it. There are certain things we are refusing to accept about who we are. And that's what is killing us. I'm asking you, what is known about black neighborhoods? Blight, graffitis, grandma's pillow thrown outside, mattress waiting on the street, trash bins everywhere, broken cars line up the streets. You want to say that you haven't seen it. When they say Detroit and Baltimore, what do you think they are describing? Boarded houses with graffitis on it, people with bandanas in street corners selling dope to their own kind. I am not condemning it. I'm describing what is.
Right. Yes, and I've been to Detroit. I've seen it. But it's as if you're saying it and you're like, you're blaming a certain group of people.
Not blaming, describing.
Also pointing the finger that the reason why this is happening is because this particular community resides there. And this is why it's happening.
That's not blaming. That's just
You're pointing the finger. You're basically saying.
No, I'm not pointing the finger. Yeah.
You're basically saying.
I'm saying by name, and if you want to prove me, you live in Bridgeport. You live in Milford. You started in Bridgeport.
Yes.
Even your high school, which was a private school, the other public schools, the bathrooms are trashed up. Wash hand basins are broken. We graffiti our own walls. People have to come from other towns to help us pick trash on the streets. We throw trash everywhere. I see them eating Dunkin' Donut. The music is booming. He winds up, he throws it out.
So therefore, because this is all happening in our communities, in minority communities, but
multiply it by 100, and that would be the whole country.
So I've seen other migrant communities, and they're clean.
Like which one?
The Middle Eastern.
Exactly. I'm talking about blacks. The Middle
In
Eastern.
particular, you're saying
Asians, yes. If
Black
you've seen,
people
if
don't
you
have the capacity to be clean.
don't say they don't have the capacity to be clean. I'm saying blighting is a culture. You feel comfortable. It doesn't conflict with your brain. That's why you live in it.
And it's not just blacks, Hispanics.
Well, those are blacks,
Latinos.
light-skinned blacks.
So
You see where you are now, how close the color is?
So you're basically
When you go to
Hold on.
the Caribbean, which I've traveled the Caribbean, I've been to Haiti, I've been to Jamaica, I've been to Barbados, I've been to Antigua, the Virgin Islands, Jamaica,
Yes.
and I've been to the Dominican Republic. And you have.
Yes.
You want to tell me that cleanliness in Kingston is the same as in Dominican Republic? No, it's not. Don't think twice. You've been to two places.
I mean,
You're
you
being
asked a
disingenuous
question.
this morning.
You've asked a question, and I
I'll ask
wanna
the
think
question.
about
All
it.
right, go ahead.
I mean, no, it's not the same.
Exactly. Okay. You want to tell me Port-au-Prince? What predominant ethnic groups lives in Labadie in Haiti?
Haitians,
No.
Black Haitians.
No.
In Labadie?
Yeah, a lot of expats.
Well, yes, now we
Okay.
have we have expats and we have the Carnival cruise that brings a lot
Oh,
of
I see.
visitors.
All right.
But as far as the people who live
Yes.
there
So
are
that
Black
is
Haitians.
so that is the comparison I made between Jamaica and Dominican Republic.
Okay.
All right, and I can continue to make the same. So I've seen other places, and so what I'm saying is, if it's not a culture, it wouldn't happen. Black countries. So Kenya, for example, has the largest of its kind. Kibera is a slum, the largest, about 5 of them in the city of Nairobi. Have you seen Soweto in South Africa? It's black community, right? And Joburg and all these places. What you see usually in these countries, especially African countries, is blight. We create the dumpster right behind 2 houses. The government never comes to clean it. No.
So, okay, so
It's just a culture. And so when such people who, because this gentleman, the white guy, have had a window to look into your country, if you're becoming the predominant population, he should be worried because those are not part of what his culture is. None is right or wrong.
So
I'm just describing.
South Africa is a beautiful place. It's clean. There are parts of it that's very, very clean. We look at Zanzibar in different places, Botswana. There's all these countries. They're beautiful.
Have you been to all their cities? If South Africa, you would say there's why?
In Johannesburg?
Yeah, that happened to be the only black country in Africa that has up to 2.9 million whites. Not a single thing was built by the blacks. That's why it looks that way. Bingo, with my story. You see?
Rwanda, Botswana, all these
Excuse me?
They're beautiful.
Yeah?
Zanzibar.
Where have you been to in those places to see?
I haven't, but I've seen online what it looks
The
like.
same way, I promise you, they can put a lot of pictures from Lagos, Nigeria online. You will think Lagos
The whole country is
is France or Paris. It's not the same. I've been around. I've seen things. And I'm saying to you, all of Africa, the one thing even the young generation now are worried about the blight, the plastics and the paper and the trash. We don't have waste management. We don't. Benin doesn't have a waste management. Ghana doesn't have a waste management. Nothing goes to waste. You know, we keep recycling. Our homes, the houses, no drainage. It's open gutters everywhere.
Yes, but I've been to a lot of Caribbean countries, and there are drainages. There are clean countries. I've been to Antigua. I've been to Aruba. Aruba's not a black country. It's a more
Yeah, if you
mixed
say Bahamas,
country.
you see.
I've been to Bahamas.
Yeah, you see
I've been to-
29% of white rich Americans hiding money. They all live there. Bankman Fried, the young boy who took people's money into crypto, lived in Bahamas. Those houses and everything owned by white people, and the locals.
But you're
know,
saying the structure of the country is very
Yes.
white, and this is why they've been able to maintain the country.
That's correct.
But if it was maintained by blacks, Latinos, or any other, I guess, other groups that are non-whites, that they would be incapable of doing that.
Well, you see it here. You see it.
I see it where in Bridgeport. I see
Yeah,
it where
in
in other.
Baltimore and Detroit, everywhere. You know, yeah, we have our specialty and our industries. We have seen it. The thing is, let me say it this way, is that
So therefore, this white man is right. Is that what you're saying?
no, his concern is valid. Is all I'm saying. I am a naturalized person here, but I wouldn't even want my own people to, dispossess the people who built this country that became the only attractive country.
Because
if it wasn't built, then what do you think is attracting people from all over the world? How many whites from France and Germany and America do you see line up at the Haitian embassy begging for visa because I want to be in Port-au-Prince? When barbecue is touching our people's houses, Tonton Maku to kill you in the middle of the night. There's no accountability. There is no human rights. There is no infrastructure. Water is vanished. Nothing. Not because the people are stupid. They don't have the capability. They don't have the capability.
It's just not our culture.
That's what you see is what they have been able to build. That's it. And now when you build this complex infrastructure called the United States, well, you have a problem. You got to look for people who know how to maintain this. Which means those people have to have certain things in their culture. Monochronic cultures, meaning punctuality. If we ask Africans to run this country, wintertime people will freeze to death because they'll be late to come for maintenance for your heater. Because we are from a polychronic culture. But we're tardy.
Okay.
Tardiness never runs a complex machine like this.
What are other countries that are like that?
Like what?
That are non-blacks. Because it seems like you're pointing it just at black people.
If you know any, just tell me.
No, I mean, you're the one who knows more about polychronic countries.
Polychronic?
So, yeah.
India is a polychronic culture.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Africa is a polychronic culture.
So let's say there was a 10 million Indians came to America, an extra 10 million. And they moved to a certain community, you don't think that they would be able to maintain it? Or
as soon as you walk there, you know Indians live here. They are in Kenya, and they segregated themselves in Kenya. So when you walk into Nairobi and you're looking for Indians, you go to Parkland. That's the Indian community in Kenya. They are almost like the 43rd tribe. The British brought them during the slavery. So now they've stayed and they run businesses. They are great in administration, you name it. All the hardware, auto parts, tires, hospitals in Kenya predominantly owned by Indians. Yes.
Frank, this is a hard pill for me to swallow. This is something that I would need to sit down because we've said a lot.
Let me repeat. I was only saying his concern is valid because he has had a window to look at other countries. He mentioned Muslims. Today, in some parts of the UK, they are biting their finger now, saying we made a mistake. They want to bring Sharia law. Women should cover their head or we whip you in public. France has declared a certain part of Paris as a no-go for the police because the Muslim says they want to practice the same way they practice in Afghanistan. Women should not do this or we would whip you. Is that the people you want to dispossess you because they can breathe fast? No, you wouldn't want it. That's all he's concerned about. Yes.
And so his point is valid.
It's valid. Now, being a naturalized American, I'm here to do the best I can in the support and promotion of the country that has become a host home to me. I will remind myself all the time. Being minority is not just number. Yes. If I go to somebody's house as a guest for 6 weeks, a month, or whatever time you allow me, I will continue to remind myself that I'm a guest here. And so every day
even
I will
though
do
I
the
tell
best.
you be at home,
Yeah, that's being friendly, they say.
That's being courteous.
When you say be at home and next thing I see you're lying by my husband in our bed and I know you've crossed the line. So I'm saying this in all honesty that we have to take a step back and stop being emotional and say, I'm an American. What does it mean? What does it mean? Yes, you came here when some people have established this foundation on which they want to raise their children, their culture, their language, and their history. It's very important to human beings. That's why the Chinese and the Japanese and the Koreans would say, no, if you're black and you're even married to a Korean, your children are not Koreans. It makes sense because when you say Chinese, you're not talking about just the looks.
It's the whole.
It's the whole thing. So when they call Naomi Osaka Hafu, which is half, and people are angry. Why should you call her half?
Half Haitian, half Japanese.
But she's half Asian, half Japanese. If this is in her head and she lives in Japan, she would know forever that I can't be completely Japanese.
And even if she even came to Haiti, because she's half.
That's correct.
We would always look at her as.
What would you call her in Haiti? Métis.
Mixed, yeah.
Yeah, mixed. Yeah. In Africa, maybe I'm wrong, in my country, in Ghana where I lived, we never call people like Mariah Carey black. No, you're half caste. Worse, they would say, well, you're a white man. See, we know clearly how to make sure that we have the right label for the right thing. Yeah, they said Tiger Woods is black. Well, maybe. He's not black.
Right.
Yes, he won't be black in Nigeria. He will be black in Ghana.
Right.
So we got to understand and respect people where they are. Now, I understand African Americans were brought here not by their choice. Yes, of course. And they have become citizens of this country, all right? They have different rights and they can control different aspects of this country, which they do. Hip-hop now, it's more popular in New Canaan than it is in Bridgeport. And that is the beauty of America. But they still have a distinct culture. All right? We don't have cookout quietly. No, man.
No, we have to have the music.
That's correct.
People,
and 5 people
dancing.
are conversing at the same time. We can hear each other. That's us.
That is us.
Yeah.
Frank, thank you so much for this.
Always.
It's definitely eye-opening. I looked at it very emotional in a sense where why would this guy have the audacity to say this in it's just the way he said it, as if like Trump is here to just provide those policies and to help white people and just to progress them. And that's how I saw it. But I didn't see it from your point of view as, does he have the right to say it? Does he
Sometimes, you know, this kind of videos, right? I don't know how long it was. I don't know the beginning of the conversation.
And we didn't see the whole...
This whole thing.
Right.
But sound bites are very dangerous, and as a
They
media
are.
guy, I understand. So sometimes you listen to what he said, and then boom, you go to the extreme. He's racist, he's this. That means you are not really trying to stand in his shoes. What it means to be white in America, the only country that has really allowed the entire world. Look, October this year, 51,000 people from around the world are going to win the diversity lotto and come to America. We haven't closed it. My niece just applied for it. It means the country is willing to diversify
welcoming.
itself. But when you walk in, know that I come from a culture when we call each other across 3 houses, okay? Some people, they like quiet neighborhoods. If you're going to move there, don't expect, and we said this in the last video you and I did, I moved to a 99.99% white town, 9 miles from Bridgeport. And my African friends here will be like, how is it? I said, how is what? You came to a white country. I just moved to a white neighborhood. You are in the white country. Whatever I would do there, I should also do it as being in the country. So I know what they don't do. I watch their manners. You know, body language in multicultural communications, like my Fat Greek Wedding. Have you seen that movie?
Right.
Yes.
Where everyone
wants to be, you know, and hug and, you know, pick you up and kiss you and drink and all that. Even drink from the same glass. It's a culture. We do it. We sit on each other and eat from the same bowl. And you see how they're going, wow, how can you all eat from the same bowl with your hands? It's a culture. Don't condemn it. But when you come to another country with that, be aware of the predominant culture. And that is what peace and being a good citizen is about.
Yeah, this is powerful. Thank you, Frank.
ZPR, Zanu Project Rethink. What we do here is just simply question the answers because we are trying to break down the tempo of anger and explain things the way people can understand. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us, love us. Hey, and we have a GoFundMe up and going. Zanu Project Rethink, GoFundMe, because hey, if you look behind here, the cameraman, the light man, the sound man, we're doing wonderful work. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again next episode.